Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have something from Arc'teryx. I don't think I reviewed anything from Arc'teryx before. Sorry guys, I've reviewed so much stuff over the past 3 years that I don't remember what I reviewed or what I didn't. But not this boot for sure. Alright, and these are Arc'teryx Aerios FL, which stands for Florida. No, actually it doesn't. This stands for something else. Mid GTX. Alright, let me take out this out of the box. FL stands for fast, light. Why? Because these are fast and these are unbelievably light. Very light, very comfortable, excellent outsole. I mean, just overall, I am very, very impressed with these boots. So, as some of you already know, this is not a regular boot review. This review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival Boots section. Basically, if this wasn't just your regular hiking boot, this was your survival boot. Something bad happened, and now you had to run, you had to, for extended periods of time to get to the safety, you had to walk, hike to the safe destination. On the way you had to fight, climb, do whatever is necessary for you to survive. Would this boot be good for everything that I just listed and beyond, right? Or not? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin. Criteria number 1, of course, comfort level. And in order to test the comfort level of all the boots and shoes that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run, non-stop, and then a 5-mile walk, non-stop, no pauses in between. Sometimes it's really hard, but in this case it was really easy because these are fast light, yes. And then I continue wearing the boots for the rest of the day so that the total wear time is about 8 hours. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. The weight, of course. I said these are very light. Let's see exactly how light they are. This is size 10, and this is the scale. And the size 10 on the scale is, holy cow, 13.6. Wow. Wow. For a mid-size boot, this is unbelievably impressive. I mean, really. So, to give you reference numbers so you can understand how impressive this is, usually I tell people, if you want something lightweight, you're looking at 20 ounce, golden kind of center. Less than 20 ounce obviously will be even better, even lighter. More than 20 ounce, the more it gets over 20 ounce, now you get a little bit of that weight that you start feeling on your feet. If you get something 23 ounce, 24 ounce, not that big of a deal. It will feel a little bit something, but still not that bad, right? So you get the point. This is almost half of that weight. Well, not almost half. My math is pretty terrible, but like 7 ounce off than that, maybe a little less. So very, very impressive. Very impressive. Wait, I don't know how they did it. I mean, you still get decent amount of protection. You still get GORE TEX waterproofing, which we'll talk about all of that later. You have an excellent Vibram outsole. So there is stuff in this boot that weights. It's not just freaking paper, right? You have the protection, you have all of these features, and yet it is so lightweight. It's just really impressive. So Arc'teryx, you guys did a fantastic job. Another thing that contributes to the comfort level is the flexibility of the outsole, and here, as you can see, it creases in the right spot. There is nothing that creates a problem here at the crease, very soft, and it's very flexible, so you can actually use these boots as trail running shoes, no problem at all. I would love to use them as a trail running shoes. So running in these is actually not just doable, it's honestly more comfortable than my running shoes. Very good, very good. Moving on to the inner sole, I'm gonna take it out. This is not just your regular, basic, no nothing inner sole. This is actually Ortholite inner sole. Check this out. Doesn't have much of the heel bed, just a little bit. Doesn't have much of arch support, just a little bit, very soft. Doesn't have much cushioning either, but the huge benefit of the Ortholite, and I have tested them many times already in different boots, is that they have that kind of moisture wickering technology, moisture absorption, basically that does not allow the bacteria to spread if you are, walking for, imagine walking for 8 hours in a day, right? on any kind of serious hike, that's probably what you would be doing in any kind of survival situation. If you are walking to the destination, to the safety destination, that's probably what you would be doing. So 8 hours, you're not taking off the boot. There's, you know, hopefully it's breathable enough for your food to breathe, right? And not sweat. But if it does, you have the Ortholite protecting. Okay, taking it out, we're moving on further. You have still some extra cushioning over here, which I absolutely love. This is that blue jelly layer, which a lot of boot manufacturers, for whatever reason, somehow decided to forget. Not here, it's over there. Perfect. So you have extra cushioning. I love it. And moving on to the other cushioning that we have throughout the whole boot, we have our padding in the tongue, we have the padding in the shaft throughout the whole boot. I mean, you have this pretty soft fabric, nothing too crazy. The front of the toe box is hard, so get them in the right size, and some nice thicker socks would be good to protect you from this. So make sure you get them in the right size. Very important. Overall comfort level, excellent job, Arc'teryx. You guys nailed it. Let's move on to the criteria number 2 now. Proofing and protection. So, like I said, proofing wise, this is GORE TEX waterproofing technology, GTX. Most of more or less experienced hikers, they know GTX. It's industry standard, pretty much. It's one of the best waterproofing technologies out there. It's lightweight, it's breathable, it's reliable, and it's expensive, okay? That's one of the downsides of the GORE TEX. It's pretty expensive, which, yeah, okay, well, we'll talk about the price later, but keep that in mind. With, you know, fancy features, fancy price, right? And speaking also of waterproofing, I want to point out the gusseting. And I wanted to tell you exactly what kind of clearance you have for the gusseting. And you have about 4.5 inches of clearance, and the lowest part of the shaft is about 4 inches. So yeah, they actually gusseted the tongue higher than the lowest part of the shaft. So 4 inches of waterproofing clearance, pretty decent. For a mid-size boot, I would expect a little bit more. They did a little bit of less, they took out a lot on the shaft at the back. As you can see, it's almost like a normal size shoe just at the back. So I wish it was going a little bit taller, so you have that extra inch of waterproofing. It would be nice. Arc'teryx, if you guys are watching here, that would be, I mean, that's extra 1 inch of waterproofing. It's definitely makes a difference. Now, speaking of the protection, you have your protective toe cap here, which actually definitely gonna do a job, and it's actually pretty good. On the rocky road, you're gonna appreciate this quite a lot. You have some of the kind of a design pattern going throughout the whole boot to give you some protection in more or less important spots. Not much in the ankles. There's this padding, but not much. I wish there was a little bit more. The heel obviously is reinforced, and of course you have your Vibram outsole, which does excellent job at giving you protection from the bottom. But we'll talk about the outsole more later. Let's move on to the criteria number 3 now. Outsole traction and quality and the design features. Now, quality-wise, Arc'teryx is a pretty popular brand whenever it comes to more or less serious hiking. If you click on the link in the description below, that's the Amazon link. There's over like 90 reviews, almost 5 stars. And online you can see a lot of reviews for this boot, so they're quite popular. Now, design features, there's really not much to talk about here. Usually here I talk about the lacing system, and here is very basic. Of course, everything in mind to save on the weight. Very thin, flat strings. I don't like these kind of strings, but I understand why they're implemented here, again, to save the weight. So there's only one hook at the top, and it's not open hook, it's closed hook. For obviously that's where you need the most of kind of protection and tension, not to break these. So they didn't put the, obviously, so it all makes sense, right? So nothing crazy whenever it comes to the lacing system. Let's move on to the criteria number 4 now. Outsole traction and stability. So whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a variety of different surfaces, starting with older asphalt and the newer tarmac, dry sand, dry grass, wet grass, rocky road, trail surface, concrete, marble tile, and then some rock wool, and also rubber. I don't know if I said it already or not. And this outsole, I like it a lot. It's definitely well balanced between aggression and flatness. As you can see, it's very flat. It's almost like there's nothing. But at the same time, these grooves are extremely aggressive. They are very sharp because the rubber is very hard. The specific outsole Vibram rubber, it's very hard, so it is very aggressive. So it gives you great traction on really pretty much everything. It handles very well on wet grass. It handles very well on the sand, dry sand, wet sand. So Arc'teryx, they definitely did great job designing this outsole with obviously Vibram. Vibram is, I mean, a lot of boots use Vibram outsole. It's one of those fancy outsoles, and people do like it. It lasts the longest. It's good quality rubber, so great stuff. Okay, so done with that. Let's move on to the criteria number 5 really quickly. The temperature. In the hot temperature, they're great, very nice, very breathable. Thanks to the GORE TEX waterproofing. Usually waterproof boots, they run a little bit hotter. Not the case here because it's GORE TEX. Fancy, yes. Now, whenever it comes to cold temperatures, I'm really not going to talk about that too much. These are not winter boots. They don't have any kind of insulation. You can get away using these boots in the winter time by implementing some insulated socks, because they are, after all, waterproof, and they will handle pretty good on the snow. Not on the ice, obviously, but there's not much stuff that can handle good on the ice unless it's like steel spikes on the bottom of the boots or something like that. But overall, you can say that you could use these as a 4-season boot in mild winters if it doesn't get too cold or too icy, too snowy. Let's move on to the criteria number 6, sizing. These are true to the size. Get them half a size bigger than your normal shoe size, so you have extra space here in the toe box, because the toe box is from the inside is hard with this cap. Very important. It will contribute to your comfort level. Now, criteria number 7. Balance of application. So, if these really were your ultimate survival boots, would they be good? Would they help you with your survival? Or would they get you killed? Well, honestly, I think this is a really, really good choice. I mean, even if you're just getting them as a hiking boot, that's a really, really good choice. I love mid-size boots that are waterproof, that are lightweight, that have a very versatile outsole, and this is it right here. They offer a decent amount of protection. I mean, you can walk, if you are more or less experienced, you know, hiker, you can walk for miles and not feel anything, because they are comfortable and they are lightweight, and you're not gonna struggle that much with the traction in these at all, considering the versatility of the outsole. So this is, to me, really, really good choice. However, that brings me to the very last criterion here, and that's kind of where the questions start arising in your head, like, should I or should I not? It's a criteria number 8, the price. And the price is pricey, okay? $185 currently on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Man, $185. Yes, it's definitely on the pricey side. And in that price range, there is a lot, I mean a lot of very serious competition. Unbelievably serious competition. I mean Salomon, La Sportiva, Jack Wolfskin, Mammoth, Keen, Scarpa, Salewa, Loa, man, freaking Merrell. Holy cow, there's a lot of competition in that price range. And those are all that I listed. There's some, I mean, Adidas, Terrex. There's some seriously good stuff in that price range. So if this was like $130, I would say, pfft, no questions asked, buying. But at $185, it becomes a little bit complicated, because there's so much stuff in the $185 budget price range. And even below, I mean, for $150, you can get some seriously amazing Salomon boots. So kind of raises the question, do you want to go this super Aerios FL route, or do you want to go somewhere else? Hey, I reviewed a whole bunch of things on this channel. If you haven't checked any of my videos out yet, and this is your first video, check it out. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's like probably 200, 300 reviews so far, if not more. Man, I don't know, I lost the count. So, let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this review? What do you think about this specific boot? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below as well, and I will be happy to address them. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Ultimate Survival Gear. I'll see you guys in the next video.